So we're going to discuss how to improve your BattleTech skills by not necessarily playing more games. All right?
Do I swoosh that?
No,
swoosh that. Thought we'd cross that bit out.
So basically, it's not... What we're going to say is it's not necessarily playing more games yourself, but we're looking at other options to improve how your games of BattleTech can be played. And this can be also applied to other games, I'm pretty sure. If you play other game systems and you're watching this, see how you go. See how to play. Leave comments.
The best way to improve your ability to play a game?
When you can't play other games yourself?
Is play the game.
Well, play the game, that's right. Always. But let's have a look at some other options.
Other options, Taryn. Other options.
Number
Let's
one. Know the lay of the land. Study
the
the map that you are going to be playing on. And there are
Yes.
some advantages to that. Taryn's going to let us know now.
Know how the terrain works.
Exactly right.
If you see your scenario coming up and you've got a map, if you have knowledge of what map you're going to be playing on, then knowing the type of terrain that's on that map, where you can position, where you can move freely, where maybe you're going to need a unit that has jump, where you maybe have a lot of water, that sort of stuff. Knowing that ahead of time can help you pick your force, which can help you improve your game.
Correct. That's right.
Is that okay?
That's good. I love that.
Perfect.
Here's another one. Analyze your previous games. Now, obviously, if you're new to BattleTech and you're just sort of getting an idea of how it's played, you've probably been looking we had some example videos and things like that. But if you look at some battle reports,
That's number 4, buddy.
yes, it is.
Yeah.
If you have a look at some battle reports, they will help you. All
Yes.
right? They
Yes.
will help you.
So
But-
going over your own past games, going through how it worked, what happened, where you screwed up, maybe where you did it properly. And then also watching other people's games and going, well, they did basically the same thing that worked for me. Maybe I should keep doing that. Or maybe I can do it a little bit better. Or maybe I can do this, or maybe I can do that sort of thing. But watching the other games play and remembering your games, you can write it down if you want to, that's fine. But going through the games that you've had and that worked is actually really, really good. That will help you improve your game.
That's right. And there's no better than who are considered professionals or people who have a lot of knowledge about playing. If you watch any of their games, you are bound to learn something, even if you go into tournaments to play against them, things like that.
Yeah.
You know, some of the best rewards that I've had from playing in tournaments is just learning. Very rarely have I actually come first. So if anyone wants to go up against me in a tournament, good luck. You're probably going to do all right. But things like that are good. Like you can learn from these other players, little tactics, little tricks, things you didn't know about. They're all there. It's really good. It doesn't matter if you've got the wooden spoon. If you come in last.
Even like the way we've been going through the optional rules and the different rules and things, there's a lot of people that don't necessarily know exactly how a rule works, and if you can find a few different people that are going through the rules, then you can get all of those viewpoints and get a better idea of how the rule works.
That's right.
Like the heat scale. The heat scale, you roll the top one and critical hit flow. Where we did that, there's a lot of comments under that one saying, well, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I was iffy about it, so that sort of thing helps too. Number 5, I completely disagree with.
What is number 5?
Immerse yourself in the lore.
And why? You think it's not relevant?
It doesn't help your tactics, no, in the game.
Enjoyment of the game.
Enjoyment of the game.
Enjoyment of the
dead set,
game.
But not ability in the game.
No.
Knowing the lore doesn't help you, because in the BattleTech universe, you can point your reticule at someone and shoot them in the head.
True.
In the game, you're not allowed to do that.
No.
In BattleTech universe, you can have dozens of people all over and everything happening at once and stuff. It's all really cool, but it doesn't really translate to the game.
No, unless it's sort of scenario based. You'll find that a lot of the field manual books and the things that talk about the different regiments and the different factions, they will have their own particular fighting style or leadership thing. That they'll have some quirk about them, which can give them some rule in the game. So as far as a lore perspective, and then saying, well, that'd be really cool to be able to play in the game, you'll find there might actually be a rule for that, and you can see how it goes.
It'll be an optional rule, and you'll
Yeah.
have to get people to let you use it.
Of course.
Know.
But that's the great thing about BattleTech in particular. There are a lot of rules there, and you can just decide amongst yourselves what you want to do.
Which ones you want to use.
It's really good.
It is cool. Did
Right.
you want to cover that number 6?
Okay.
Because I thought that was
critical thinking and tactics.
Boom. Viewers, you need to engage in mental exercises that develop critical thinking and tactical planning. Chess, strategy video games, or even puzzles.
Something like that is good.
Or, good lord, you could play some BattleTech.
Just play the games and see what happens. As long as you're not betting for the farm people, it doesn't really matter.
Did you know Magic the Gathering used to be played for the cards?
Yeah, well.
There was a stake.
Is that right?
Yeah, you used to cut your cards, draw one, put it down face down. Each of you did that, and then you play, and whoever got it got both cards.
Wow.
That used to be in the rules.
Yeah.
You should do that with BattleTech. You should have like a salvage box. You put a random mech in there and put it on the table, and everybody who wins gets the salvage. No,
the clans would be all over that. Would it make sense? It's like, what's what have you got there, and what's defending the planet and all that sort of thing? That's gold.
No, we didn't use any visual aids, mate.
We didn't, no.
God damn it.
We're the visual aids. This is us. And the accent. The accent. It's not a visual
it's my
thing.
Sexy Australian accent that does it.
What about some sort of out-of-game experience that you just somehow applied to your game of BattleTech? Something you saw elsewhere that you thought would be useful. I mean, obviously, BattleTech is a game about certain things. It has its limits or whatever. So, it's not like, I use my imagination like Neo from the Matrix and you can do all this sort of stuff. But I mean, what is it that, like some sort of tactic that you've seen outside? Maybe something that you've played from another game. Is there anything you used to play? Was it Undead for the old Warhammer? And their fighting style and things like that, looking after the general because of all the magic,
which never worked for me.
Like
I never.
But I mean,
game.
Have you ever sort of built a force that was something like that? I mean, like C3, for example, where you sort of protect like the main one and the little ones help out by moving forward and things like that.
Yeah, that's kind of what C3 is. I mean, finding the different synergies for different game systems can be difficult. But if you play a lot of different game systems and you play the game a lot and you look through rules for things that you like, if you suddenly have a little bit of disposable income and you get yourself a copy of TAC Ops, then you have access to a lot more rule systems. You have a lot more stuff that you can take in and go, well, maybe I want to see if the game group that I'm playing with will let me use rapid fire machine guns, because that'll work.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Maybe
I want to use tripods. Tripods are awesome.
Yeah, true.
Maybe I want to use super heavies or like use the C3 and I mean, fire and smoke are in TAC Ops. They're not really technically in the standard rules.
No, I think they were at one
very
point
effective.
going back. Yeah, I think maybe they sort of looked at it as something that slows it down.
They might have it in the battle mech manual. Is it in the mech manual?
It's in the no, I'm sure it's in tactical.
Yeah, but there's a lot of stuff that's related to mech manual that mechs that's in mech manual that is in other books as well. So I don't know, maybe that was a thing. But
anyway, things like that. I don't know, but it's like there's people who've played other games. Obviously, like Warhammer 40,000 is very popular. A lot of people play that. They come over to BattleTech. It's a different scale. They probably looked at it more like that Imperialis game, so the 8mm Titans. So that's that sort of thing. So they're sort of looking at it from that perspective. But I mean, someone who's used to playing like the Eldari or whatever, they're all fast-moving units, or the Dark Elder as they used to be called.
So they might move towards lighter units that are faster.
So Clan Hellion, for example, who really favour the fast moving and things like that, could actually be, and can they make a viable force from that? So that's something to think about. But I mean, thinking sort of other games you've played, thinking different styles. Someone who thinks that way comes into the game and then has a look at this as, okay, what can this offer me if I want this sort of playstyle? Can it be done?
That's
Obviously,
what
it can, because it's BattleTech.
Is the more games you play, the more likely you are to be able to pick up each game and use it strategically and improve your game. The easier it becomes, the more, because there's only a finite amount of ways to do things, especially with turn-based stuff. So the more systems you get into, the more things you've played, the more you are able to take in the systems that you're moving on to with a new game, like BattleTech. The more time you spend playing BattleTech, the more you take in. So
obviously reading some of these books will go on the list as things to do besides games.
you don't necessarily even have to read all the books. Like you can, I've said this before, you can stop at beginner BattleTech.
Yeah.
You don't have to go past that. You can get some record sheets and just ignore the bottom half and go, let's chuck some dice around, have a couple of beers and some pretzels, and we're good.
You could play for years at that level.
At that level, you would never have to buy another book
a
again,
campaign,
ever.
and do whatever. Yeah, that's what's so good about it. So.
But you can go completely in depth. You can get all your aerospace stuff. You could even do it as a lore-based thing, like an actual in-universe battle or recreation. You could do that if you wanted to, with the drops and the aerospace and all of that. So you don't have to. It does give you more options, but you don't have to have it. But yeah, if you want some more options, then something like TAC Ops helps out.
That's good.
Yeah.
So there we go. So look into the lore, get a feel for what sort of faction excites you, and then see if you can build a force around that, which you pretty much can. So there's some other tactics. Look at the battlefield. Identify the weak points, the strong points. Look at what you are going to take. If you've got advanced knowledge of that, build your force around it. If not, take another good look at it and see on the side that you're coming in where you can get to that's going to be to your advantage. Because to be able to hold a certain area of the board so they can't threaten you is really good. To be able to shut down areas is very, very handy.
I think I mentioned in my tactics video, I can't remember now, but it's probably more important to know the objective than the map. The map is important and you need to know, but knowing the objective and the special rules and the force parameters, force building parameters that you've got is ultimately more important, because if you master those things, then you can move to any terrain and know that your force can move to proper cover, do this, do that, and complete the objectives that are in the scenario. So even if you don't know the map, you can still improve and move towards a win with that sort of stuff.
Yeah, true. Knowing the map, know the scenario, know thine enemy.
The objectives you have to complete, the special rules that revolve around those objectives, and preferably the terrain that you're going to be doing it on. But any given one of those, I guess, could move away, but it's preferable to have all of them.
That's it.